of retail's transitioning right now. I think that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter what segment you're in. You're facing secular change. You've been facing it for a while. You've got to adapt. And in the past, you could say, well, food retailers are in pretty good shape. You know, there's a lot of demand. It's predictable, et cetera. That's not true anymore because there's so much competition at the top of the food chain in retail between Amazon, Walmart, Target, and the rest of them that everybody else has got to adapt. And some are doing it better than others.
Right, but can they adapt enough? I guess what I'm saying is if you were inheriting these businesses, you know, it's one thing to start a different kind of business today. We understand how you do that. What do you do if you're this legacy department store? I mean, what are your options?
You've got to be able to use your stores effectively. That's a drum we've been beating for a while. You can't just go out and close stores willy-nilly. You've got to find a way to integrate them into a multi-channel system and use them to support your online businesses. If you have the money, you can do that. If you don't have the money, if you're a poor credit quality department store chain, for instance, or anybody else, you don't have the money. You can't do it. There's only so much money in the bucket for you to be able to use to adapt your business. If you have it, you've got a chance. If you don't have it, it's going to be a tough road to hoe.
Lauren, I do a lot of shopping at Nordstrom. I am impressed by their display. I'm impressed by their help, and I am impressed by their website. Why are they not able to gain traction in the market if the customer experience is pretty doggone good?
They do, and I'll admit, I think Nordstrom, out of all the department stores, is known for excellent customer service. They do that very well. But I think a lot of it is they're just being lumped in with that category. I think investors look at department stores as a whole, and Nordstrom is obviously included in that group. And, you know, as Charlie was alluding to, the future is very murky in how...
You can wander around a Nordstrom and bump into a salesperson like that. You can wander around a Macy's or a Penny's and not find a damn soul.
It drives you crazy sometimes.
It drives me crazy. That's why I don't go there.
Yeah.
But the question then becomes, is Nordstrom spending too much money on people?
You've got to take care of your customers. Once your customers are in the store, once they're in the store, you got to keep them. You got to sell them. You got to make them happy because they've made a huge investment to come to your store. They could sit on their couch, buy product online, but no, they've made a conscious decision to come to your store. You've got to cherish those customers. They're your lifeblood. Once they're in the store, you've got a chance to capture them. You've got a chance to keep them and build relationships. And that's something that every single retailer out there has to be able to do with brick and mortar, or you lose a customer one bad day, and that customer may not come back.
I won't go back. No, I just would say, you're off my list. I'm not going there if you make it hard for me.
Yeah.
You make it easy, I love you. I'll come back 11 times a year.
And I wonder, Lauren, if that makes them one of the ones, you know, there's obviously going to be a lot of chop. There's a lot of questions about financing, but are they going to be able to weather the storm? I mean, is the market separating the ones who can from the ones who can't at this point? Exactly.
No, I think a lot of what Nordstrom has done, you know, I think it takes time, I guess, for investors to realize that those bets are paying off. You know, I think they should be spending money on people. They should be spending money on initiatives like stores where you can, you know, buy online, then go pick up inventory in stores. I know they've done a lot around that. But I think it's just a matter of time, and for them to, like with a lot of these companies, to prove to investors that, you know, maybe a little hit in the short term is worth it in the long term.
Whatever happened, Charlie, to those stories that Nordstrom was thinking of going private?
Good question. I really don't know. I really don't know.
It sounds like the financing was an issue then, and presumably there'd be some questions now.
A very general statement. Retail has become a one-off or a one-by-one investment thesis for a lot of the folks in the markets, where they drill down into a single name. It's tempting to paint the whole sector with a broad brush and say, oh, gee, retail is really challenged right now, I'll avoid it. There's some bets there. If you bet on the right firm, you can do really well.
Give us one before we go.
Walmart. I mean, 3.5 years ago, it'll be 4 years in October, when Doug McMillon stood at the stock exchange and said, we're going to make this bet, we're going to make these investments, and it's going to cost us X dollars. The stock got crushed during that day, and look where it is today. Those investments pay off.